What's up, everybody? Can we take a minute here and talk about how I haven't done a story time? Oh my God, I actually don't even know when the last one was. I record a podcast every Monday. After the last one we recorded, we were having a discussion. Oh my God, I can't believe I did this. It brought me back to a time where I was faking being hypnotized. Holy shit, I can't believe I did this to this day. That's what today's story is. Okay, so this story brings us back to second year of college. So this was 2000 and I think 9 years ago. Now there's something really special about that time, and it's not necessarily the best thing, but it turned into a really great thing. It was a really tough year for me, because that's where I really started to feel the heavy effects of anxiety and mental health, and it all just hit me like a dump truck, man. The year started off with me having this sensation of like wanting to cry, but not having a reason to cry, you know what I mean? Like I'd get home from class, this story is starting off very sad. Trust me, it gets funny. Like I'd get home from class and I would feel just sad, man. Like I felt very lonely. My mom had called me one time and she was like,
Dan, like what's wrong? You seem a little off lately. Like what's going on with you?
And I was like, I don't know. I just kind of want to cry and I don't have a reason to. So that sparked this really interesting conversation with my mom.
Do you want to see like a psychologist or like a therapist?
Now being in college, I was like, oh man, I feel like I was 18. And the second she said, do you want to see a therapist? I'm like, hell no. Like, no. So for me to be a kid and like potentially go to therapy, I was like, I really don't want to. So I told her no. So days went on and on and on, and this feeling and this sensation of downness and sadness just kept going and growing, and it just sucked. It was just, I just felt like life sucked, you know? So she calls me and goes,
Dan, you still seem a little off. Are you sure you don't want to see someone?
That's not at all how my mom sounds, by the way. And I was like, okay. You know what, fine. I'm looking at my life right now. I don't feel good. I've got this totally bizarre feeling that I want to cry and have no reason for that. I'm kind of getting bored of this feeling. It sucks so bad, so yeah, let's try it. Okay, do you want to see a boy or a girl? And look, I'm laughing. This is so great that I can have a moment where I laugh at this now. And I was like, I want to see a guy, because a part of me is like, if I see a girl, I just felt like maybe a guy would first up, I don't know where therapy goes. So my fear is that I sit in there and he just somehow like reads my mind and he's like, oh, you're like a little horny or something. I don't know, man. I thought therapy was like, maybe they could use some skills and like watch your eye twitch and just know what's going on. If I went to therapy like horny or some shit, I was like, I'd rather a guy tell me that than a girl, because the girl, there'd be this, I don't know. I feel like there'd be this weirdness after a girl told me that. I was just so confused, man. I didn't know. They have to hear your story first. So you can't just go in there and they're like,
this guy's horny.
Okay, so I say yes. My mom goes,
great.
She books me an appointment with this guy that was in the town that I went to school in.
Your appointment is at 4 p.m. on Tuesday.
And I'm thinking, yeah, I can make it. Without thinking of like, I don't have a way there. And Uber didn't exist at the time. So I go with my friend Mitch and I'm like, hey man, I gotta do some groceries. Can I borrow your car? And he's like, yeah, for sure. Go ahead, take my car. Now I did this for like, I'd say like 2 months. I borrowed his car to go to therapy, not to go grocery shopping. I think like maybe 2 years ago I told him this actually. And he was really good about it. He's like, man, you could have told me this whole time that's what you're doing, it would have been fine. But when the whole experience is new, you don't want people to know, you know what I mean? So I get there, I park the car. It was in this like 4-story building. Walk in, open the door, I'm like, okay, what floor is he on? And I specifically remember there was an odd amount of like Botox clinics in this place. And so I thought, it wouldn't be the worst thing if I went to the wrong place and I come out like, Mom, I'm feeling fine. And she'd be like, Dad, you look way worse. But yeah, guys, I'm telling you, it was like a Botox center with one therapy office. So weird. So I walk in, the building was mad old. The lights were sort of like super blue. Like, you know the fluorescent lights when they're trying to save money? It just gives it this really like Coke house kind of vibe. We've all been to those friends' houses. You walk in like, oh, can you just flip the switch in the basement? And you're like, yeah, sure. It's like blinding and you're like, oh man. Sure, the light bulb lasts 10,000 years, but it's giving me the vibe that this is a massive drug bust. The entire hallway was like this. I get to the very end, I go in, I remember there was a waiting room. It was at the very end of the hallway, so I'm sitting in this waiting room and I'm like, oh my God. It's where it all hit me. I'm like, why am I here? I'm in a waiting room, what if I see someone I know? So the door opens, guy sticks his head out and goes, are you Dan? Yes. You know when you're like trying to play it cool, like everything's chill and you're just like, that's me. But meanwhile, my insides are like, holy shit, we're at therapy, man. This is crazy. What's going on? So I go in there, I sit on his couch. He sits across from me. And he's like, what's wrong? I tell him everything that's wrong with my life. And he goes, okay. It was super helpful. Like, I guess just to let you guys know the therapy side of things, it was a very helpful thing for me. So I went back like for a few weeks, okay? We were now on like week 4 or 5. How's it going, Dan? It was just like a really stressful week, and I'm like, man, I need some sort of relief here. I've been seeing you for like a month now, and I felt like progress, but now I feel like I'm going down again. So this is where this shit all starts. Oh man. So he says this, well, I'm trained in hypnotherapy. Did you want to try it? And I was sitting on the couch just like, I do not believe in hypnotism, but sure, let's give it a go. And so he goes, okay, here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna sit on the couch across from me, and what you're gonna do is you're just gonna follow this, and he pulls out this like weird ass, it's like an item that you would only find in a therapist's office, you know, like super modern and like swing, like sort of, it swings. It wasn't like Pirates of the Caribbean with like a stopwatch where it's like, follow me. It wasn't like that. And so he goes, okay, here's what I want you to do. Oh my God, I'm gonna get hypnotized. He's gonna make me walk like a chicken. I want you to stare at this. I want you to follow it back and forth. I want you to breathe in, exhale, start to control your breath. And so I'm doing that, I'm just like, a part of me is expecting just to pass out, because every time I've seen a hypnotist, it's been in some like comedy show and the people just like drop, right? I'm gonna count backwards from 10 and you're gonna get more and more sleepy, and by the time I get to 1, you're gonna be out. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, cool. I'm gonna start to feel a little bit tired. This is cool. He's telling me what to expect. So he's like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We're at 4 and I'm just kind of like super awake, no difference at all. 3, 2. Oh my God, we're at 2. I'm feeling nothing. This guy's super into this, I could tell. 1. And I don't know what, I don't know what I was thinking, but when he said 1, I just went like this. I just dropped my head into my neck. I was just like, and you know what's weird about all of this? I did that for him. The whole experience was supposed to be for me, and I wanted him to feel good about his hypnotherapy, so I just went with it. And I could just hear it, like there was a pause, and I felt like him just kind of like,
Holy Bill, we've done it! We've really hypnotized one!
Dan, just chill. This is gonna be like I don't know, this is gonna be like a 5-minute thing. Just relax. Basically, just copying what I've seen on like YouTube. So he starts going through the motions of like, you know, Dan, when you leave here and you get that weird feeling when you go into your residence, now it's gonna be a happy feeling. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, he's buying this, man. He's really buying this. Do not flicker your eyelids because he's gonna know you're faking. I'm trying to stay as perfectly still as possible, but don't swallow, because you'd see my Adam's apple like bounce if I swallow. He does his whole thing, and then he stops talking, waiting for the next thing, and he leaves me there for 15 minutes in this hypnotist daze, okay, where I'm just like this. I did this to myself. Halfway through, I'm like, Dan, if you wake up now, he's gonna know this was all bullshit. So you really gotta last to the end now. Finally, he comes back and he's like, all right, Dan, are you ready? I'm gonna count down from 3. And when I get to 1, your eyes are gonna open and you're gonna be back in my office. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, I've been here the entire time, man. I've heard everything. I could hear your nose whistle going, like it's crazy. 3. Again, this whole, like, my eyes were closed, so I don't know what he was doing, but this just feels right, okay? 2. And I'm like, thank God, now I can do it. 1. And then I go like this. Why am I so cringe? I throw my head up, kind of like, and I kind of give this look around the office, like, where am I? Like, I've been hypnotized. I don't even know where I am. How was it? And I just saw it in his face. I didn't have the heart to tell him that I wasn't hypnotized the whole time, and I was like, whoa, for some reason, I just feel better. And I did one of those faces, like, you know, where you're like the confused, but like positive, like, I just feel better. I knew that was gonna hit home with him. And he kind of leaned back in his chair, and I saw in his face, he's kind of like this, like, still got it. And then I paid him. I wrote this guy, I wrote this guy a check to basically sit in his office pretending to be hypnotized. And then I left, and I never told anybody about this experience ever because I was so embarrassed. Anyways, guys, that was just, I don't know if this was a quick story time. Maybe it wasn't, but that was a time that I faked hypnotism. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. New Shot and Forgot coming out this Friday, and I'll have a DIY coming out this Sunday, so you do not want to miss those. Follow me on Instagram at Danocracy as well. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. See you guys later.